Okay, never mind.
Hi.
Okay. Hi, Jill. I'm on the phone with Robert because it seems like I'm always having a glitch trying to get onto you sometimes. Like I pop in the middle and you're dictating, even though I've been on there before the class starts.
That,
So,
huh.
but you just popped in now, right? I mean, it's not
I
like
I came in at 9:05. Let me
9:05.
see here.
Okay. Okay, well, I've got her, Robert. We'll work it out. Okay, thank you. Bye. No, it's weird because sometimes,
Well, I know last night I was already dictating when you came in.
yeah, well, the weird thing is that I'll be on there and waiting for you to connect sometime, and this has happened before, before class even starts. And then, I sit there and I wait, and I'm looking at the time and it's like, she should have come in by now. So I close it out. Like this is what I did last night. And then when I go to log in again, you pop in like that and you're already in the class.
And I wonder if, because I know Robert told me that because there's a pause stop recording for me,
Mm,
and he's told me before, like, you don't even have to hit play until you start, because for a while I was just kind of letting it run and I'm sitting.
uh-huh.
So I wonder if that has something to do. Maybe I should just not even stop it. You know what I mean? Like when I go on, I'll ask him. But
I don't
maybe
even
that has
know.
something to do. I don't know. Sometimes I have an issue on my end where I have to completely log the computer off and
Right.
start back up again. So I don't know if that was the issue.
I
But
don't know. But
yeah,
I mean it's happened so much. I thought, you know what, I texted him and I said, I seem to be having a glitch, and then he called me because I must have tried backing out a bunch of, because usually, you're prompt. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And I know that you have issues too, but just from my experience on my end, what has happened with me with, it just sits there and it says waiting for the host to start. And I'm thinking, oh, you know what? She would have, so I back out. And then when I put it back in, you're in the middle of dictation. So
Right. So
I
then
don't know what the deal is.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is odd, because I know that you've said that before where
Hmm.
I'm already starting and you come in and I just think that you're just joining, and then
Right.
you say,
Like,
"Oh,
no,
yeah,
because I'm the kind of person that always needs to be somewhere early because I don't like being late. I
yeah,
mean, there's the exception, of course, it's
right,
like,
right."
okay, because I hate getting into the middle. I want to be there from the beginning. So,
Oh, yeah,
anyway.
absolutely. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. So let's start with our common words. Okay, here we go. Get our fingers going. Ready?
Hmm.
Late, assure, advised, additional, often, especially, suggest, white, wonderful, nearly, ship, dance, claim, dated, rate, family, live, forward, spring, copies, forwarded, doctor, particular, interesting, idea, sample, land, start, hoping, owe, proper, father, head, word, church, requested, feeling, hardly, items, convenience, reached, sell, public, times, store, street, original, continue, past, planning, save, understanding, judgment. All right.
There was one in there that I just drew a blank on. I can't think of what it was now. Oh, well.
Like as to how to write it?
Yeah. I mean, I just excuse me. You know what? You might want to mute me. I know that it's just you and I, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead and do that.
I'll wave.
Yeah.
I'll wave if I
Or
need to say
you
something.
can always type too on the
That's
chat
right.
box. Yeah.
That's right.
Send me a message.
Oh, there's the chat. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
'Cause
Yeah.
I know other students will come in later and watch it, so I'll do that. All right, here we go. But I'll unmute you after class. All right. Now I have a phrase drill. We have I have, we have, you have, to have, of the, have you, about the, so much, do you, did you. And here are your sentences. I have so much extra material that I could share. I would so much like you and your mom to have whatever you have need for. Have you seen the news? We have not heard about the plans. We have to find out about it. We have been extremely unhappy about the proposed route of the new road near our home. So much of the money was spent. Do you think we should support it? I have some mixed emotions about that. We have to do something now. Did you report that? Wait, let me say that again. Did you report that he is so much opposed to giving a blank check to the supervisors? Have you expressed your opinion yet? All right. And really, you could phrase that he is, THAES. When I said that, that's kind of when I came across it, I was like, oh, let me say that again. So, all right. Now we've got a basic brief review drill from theory. So we've got inform, information, have, and vary. Here we go. Very few of us have the information. Have you been informed? I was not informed until just recently. You should ask for the information. I am informing you now. If you ask for the information, you will get the information. That is a very good plan for keeping well informed. We have to have the information for the booklet. Will you be informing Linda that her mother is not well? If I hear any news, I will inform you. Bob informs us on a daily basis. Write for more information. Before he would do the test, the doctor made very sure that he had a paper signed for informed consent. All right. Now, this is going to be a drill that focuses on different trees. Here we go. Red spruce, California cedar, silver maple, black locust, mahogany, spruce, American elm, cottonwood, shagbark hickory, white fir, silver maple, cypress, sweet birch, yellow birch, white pine, hemlock, flowering dogwood, camphor, black walnut, white ash, black cherry, tulip tree, sycamore, willow oak. All right, I'm just dating this so I know we've covered it. Okay, now I've got a number drill here, and these are different doctors. Okay, so I'm going to give you their name, their NPI number, the address, hours of operation, and where they are located. Okay, here we go. Wait, let's see. Yeah, this is the one I want. Here we go. Natasha Alexander, Alexander, MD, NPI number 00A064687, located at 1701 East Florida Avenue, Hemet, California, 92545. Phone number 951-658-4486. Open from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Located at Hemet Valley Medical Center. DOC number 12565152230. Josephina Campbell, MD, CAMPBELL, NPI number 08C204587, located at 1194 Hesperia Road, number B, Hesperia, California, 92345. Email Josh Campbell 1968 at gmail.com. Phone number 760-949-0362. Open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, 1 to 7 Saturday and Sunday. Located at Victor Valley Medical Center. DOC number 1306-012935. Catherine Malini, MALINI, MD, NPI number JX385211, located at 264 North Highland Springs Avenue, Suite B, Banning, California, 92210. Phone number 951-769-9076. Open from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Located at Community Hospital of San Bernardino, Redlands Community Hospital, San Gorgonio Memorial Hospital, and St. Bernardine's Medical Center. All right, we'll stop there. I don't want to give you too much. got this huge book of doctors. I thought, ooh, that's a good one for practice. Are you typing? Need internet stuff. Okay. Like what I gave you, their web address, their email. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's a good one. Yeah, and it's interesting because some of those doctors have them and some don't.
Oh, you unmuted me.
I did.
Okay. Well, I haven't been coughing too much. Well, I want to say, oops, I don't want to leave the meeting. I have something, I don't know if I got it from Sage, but it's like something for internet, but it was, I don't know, it's difficult for me to understand. Where is it?
Are they internet briefs?
I think so. I think they are. Hang on, it's just like a one sheet thing. Sometimes I think I have too much for briefs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They say that you shouldn't. Should just write it out, and then they say that the best thing to do is create a brief on the fly or something. And
yeah, for that.
That's it. I'm so sorry, but yeah, I don't know where it is, but yeah, it's just like one piece of paper, and it had, I don't remember what it had on it, but I don't know, maybe it was just how you had to put it in your dictionary or something, but I wasn't sure if there was like a better way of doing it, and it was just kind of confusing.
I do have a sheet too, and I'll find that and go over it.
Okay.
It's all about the www.
Yeah, it was that, and yeah.
So, okay, yeah, I'll drag that out and then do a drill with just strictly email addresses.
Good idea.
Yeah, and websites.
Because I'm sure that comes up a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it does. Yeah. All right. So I'll mute again.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Okay. So now we've got words and sentences that start with CH and SH. Okay, here we go. Dish, ditch. Witch, wish. Wash, watch. Bash, batch. Catch, cash. Mash, match. Hash, hatch. Swish, switch. Latch, lash. And then here are your sentences. All the wishing in the world will not fix the job which he botched. And I phrase all of the AULT. Okay. She wore a blouse and stretch pants with wild patches all over the pants. I wish that you would switch to another station, any other station. Both the mashed potatoes and the squash were on the menu for Thanksgiving. I think that the corned beef hash can be stretched to feed all of us. Robert ordered scotch and water for them and paid cash to the bartender. I wish that she had paid in cash because the bills are mounting up each day. Larry said he would catch more fish than I would on our fishing trip this summer. We are watching the rash very closely to see whether it will get better. All the stitching on the sash to my new dress came loose when I washed it. Get a swatch of the cloth to use for a sash to match the dress. They splashed water everywhere when they were playing catch in the pool. Please take the car in to have it washed, and please have the tire patched too. I know that I broke the dish, but it really can be patched to look like new. The thief stashed the stolen watches in the locker at the station and then left quickly. Because the latch is broken, you will have to lash the gate shut. All right. Now, how are we doing on time? Yeah, we're doing okay. All right. I'm going to give you a word list, and these are more difficult words, but good practice. Okay, here we go. Inflationary, aggravated, inhibited, collision, prescription, administration, initiating, alternative, insulate, amateur, intentional, appraisals, assessment, palatial, petroleum, bureaucracy, chronically, predicted, predictable, productive, conserve, convergence, projections, cumbersome, prospective, curtailments, recognizing, decontrol, regulatory, disastrous, resolution, disparities, revisions, entitlements, Saudi Arabia, eventually, which I write as EFL, similarities, impact, which is MAKT, subside, implications, subsidized, incentive, transition, increasingly, ultimately, industrialized, windfall, inevitable, workmanlike. All right. Let's go ahead and start with our literary and jury charge. I've got a cute literary today. It's from one of the Dr. Seuss books. Okay, I'm going to read this at 60. Okay. Depending on how it is, I may jump to 80, but we'll start at 60. Here we go. There once was a girl bird named Gertrude McFuzz, and she had the smallest plain tail ever was. One droopy droop feather. That's all that she had. And oh, that one feather made Gertrude so sad. For there was another young bird that she new. A fancy young birdie named Lola Lee Lou. And instead of one feather behind, she had two. Poor Gertrude. Whenever she happened to spy Miss Lola Lee Lou flying by in the sky, she got very jealous. She frowned and she pouted. Then one day she got awfully mad and she shouted, "This just isn't fair. I have one. She has two. I must have a tail, just like Lola Lee Lou." So she flew to her uncle, a doctor named Dake, whose office was high in a tree by the lake. And she cried, "Uncle Doctor, oh please, do you know of some kind of a pill that will make my tail grow?" "Tut, tut," said the doctor. "Such talk. How absurd. Your tail is just right for your kind of a bird." Then Gertrude had tantrums. She raised such a fit that finally her uncle, the doctor, gave in, and she told her just where she could find such a pill. On a pillberry vine on the top of the hill. "Oh, thank you," chirped Gertrude McFuzz, and she flew right straight to the hill where the pillberry grew. Yes, there was the vine, and as soon as she saw it, she plucked off a berry. She started to gnaw it. It tasted just awful, almost made her sick, but she wanted that tail. So she swallowed it quick. Then she felt something happen. She felt a small twitch, as if she'd been tapped down behind by a switch. And Gertrude looked around and she cheered. It was true. Two feathers, exactly like Lola Lee Lou. Then she got an idea. "Now I know what I'll do. I'll grow a tail better than Lola Lee Lou. These pills that grow feathers are working just fine." So she nibbled another one off of the vine. She felt a new twitch, and then Gertrude yelled, We, Miss Lola, has only 2, and I have 3. When Lola Lilu sees this beautiful stuff, she'll fall right down flat on her face, sure enough. I'll show her who's pretty. I certainly will. Why, I'll make my tail even prettier still. She snatched at those berries that grew on that vine. She gobbled down 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And she didn't stop eating, young Gertrude McFuzz, till she'd eaten 3 dozen. And that's all that there was. Then the feathers popped out with a zang, with a zing. They blossomed like flowers that bloom in the spring, all fit for a queen. What a sight to behold! They sparkled like diamonds and gumdrops and gold, like silk, like spaghetti, like satin, like lace. They burst out like rockets all over the place. They waved in the air and they swished in the breeze. And some were as long as the branches of trees. And still they kept growing. They popped and they popped until long about sundown, when finally they stopped. And now, giggled Gertrude, the next thing to do is to fly straight home and show Lola Lilu. And when Lola sees these, why, her face will get red and she'll let out a scream and she'll fall right down dead. Then she spread out her wings to take off from the ground. But with all of those feathers, she weighed 90 pounds. She yanked and she pulled, and she let out a squawk. But that bird couldn't fly, couldn't run, couldn't walk. And although, or all through that night, she was stuck on that hill. And Gertrude McFuzz might be stuck up there still, if her good Uncle Dake hadn't heard the girl yelp. He rushed to her rescue and brought along help. To lift Gertrude up almost broke all their beaks, and to fly her back home, it took almost 2 weeks. And then it took almost another week more to pull out those feathers. My, Gertrude was sore. And finally, when all of the pulling was done, Gertrude behind her again had just one. That one little feather she had as a starter. But now that's enough, because now she is smarter. Isn't that cute? Wasn't that cute? I unmuted you.
Sorry. Yeah, you knew that there had to be some sort of a moral to the story.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Like, oh, I know that.
Never heard that one from Dr. Seuss. That one was cute.
I know. I love those books.
Should have known better. You're
Yep.
good just as you are.
That's right. That's right. Too much of something is not good.
Nope.
With what you have. All right. So we'll do some jury charge, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. All right. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, at this time, I will state the law of the case to you, and then you will retire to deliberate on your verdict. Please recall my emphasis on prior occasions that our state constitution prohibits me from either directly or indirectly expressing an opinion as to any factual aspect of the case. The facts are for you and you alone to determine, and I leave them to you. It would be highly inappropriate for me to attempt to violate a constitutional prohibition such as this, and I have not and will not do so. So you disregard me entirely as far as the facts are concerned. All of my rulings, for instance, during the course of the trial, have been predicated on what I conceive the law of the evidence to be. By overruling an objection, I am merely saying to myself and to you, as I understand it, the law of evidence, I am required to let the jury pass on this. If I sustain an objection, I am holding as a matter of law, as I understand the law of evidence, that it would be an error for this to be brought out during the course of the trial. So you and I emphasize again, determine the facts. You are vested with 2 powers to assist you in arriving at your conclusion as to the factual aspects of the case. One is whether you do or do not give weight to the evidence. And if you determine to give weight, the amount of weight. Evidence includes not only the spoken word, which we call testimony, but it extends to the entire record. Testimony, plus any exhibits, papers, pictures, which may have been introduced in the record. Then, 2, you are the sole judges of the believability of the witnesses you have heard. You may believe all, part, or nothing that a witness tells you. You may consider the attitude of a witness on the stand. You may consider the opportunity of the witness to have observed those events from their testimony. You may consider any bias or prejudice or simply the appearance of similar characteristics if you find such to be present with respect to any witness or witnesses in the case. All right, so we're going to stop there. Just make a little note where I stopped so I know. All right, start some Q&A. All righty, this one is a deposition. It's going to start with defense. So I will start at 60 and work my way to 100. Okay, here we go. Ready? Would you state your name for the record, please? Sharon Lee Jessen. It's my understanding that a lawsuit was filed on your behalf, at which time you were using the name of Buehler, Buehler. Yes. It's further my understanding that you've been asked questions about the lawsuit in connection with what happened about the accident. Yes. Okay. I'm here today to ask you questions about if you were injured, how you were injured, and how you are doing. Do you have any questions about the nature of the deposition? No. You understand you're under oath? Yes. And there is a court reporter present? Yes. And you've talked to your lawyer about what we're doing today? Yes. Do you have any questions about the procedures we're doing? No questions. If at any time you want to take a break, speak up. We can pause, hesitate, or whatever. Now, we are talking about an accident that occurred on April 8th of 2009. Yes. About what time of day? I'm just trying to get about what time of day did the accident occur? Approximately between 2:30 and 3. In the morning or afternoon? Afternoon. Physically, were you in an automobile? Yes. Where were you seated? I was the driver. And did your car have an impact with some other car or something? Yes. What did the car have an impact with? Another car. As a result of the impact, what, if anything, happened to you physically? Anxiety, depression, headaches, nightmares, back pain, neck pain, confusion, memory loss. That just about covers it. But what, if anything, happened to you physically within the car as a result of the impact? As a result of the impact, I hit my head. Do you know what your head hit? My head hit the roll bar. What kind of vehicle were you in? A convertible Corvette. Do you know the model of the car? I don't recall. Is that a car or a truck or? It was a small sports car. When you use the expression roll bar, where was that located? Just behind my head. With respect to the vehicle itself, was it towards the top of the vehicle, or the back, or the bottom, or the front? It was in the middle. On top of the vehicle, or on the bottom, or right in the middle? It was over my head. Over my head, about that far. Did you ever lose consciousness as a result of the accident? There was so much confusion. I don't really know. Okay, so we're going to stop there and I'm going to switch transcripts. Okay. All right. This is a court transcript. And defense is questioning, but plaintiff's going to take over in just a second. Okay, I'm going to start at 80 and work my way to 100. Didn't Mr. Wilson indicate to you that he believed the pole to be abandoned property in the ditch? Yes. And when you questioned him about the pole, he indicated to you there was no markings on it that identified that it belonged to either Edison or the railroad, correct? Yes. Or anybody else? Yes. Is that the case? There's nothing, no marking on that pole whatsoever in any location that would assist someone in knowing who it was at some point in time belonged to? Yes. There is or not? Could you repeat the question? Yes. Poor question. Is there any marking on the pole that would assist someone to know who the owner of the pole was at any previous time? Well, there was a small mark that said Edison, but there aren't any railroad tracks that go through that ditch or by that ditch, are there? Yes. Where you saw the drag marks go to in that location? Yes. How far away are the railroad tracks from the ditch that you saw the tracks leading up to? I'd have to clarify, if you would. The ditch is a long ditch running from east to west from the aqueduct area, which intersects the railroad tracks where the pole was left. And in answer to your question, within 200 yards, where the pole was originally left by Mr. Rundell, who was going to install it, how far away was the railroad track from the location where the pole was where he left it? The distance between where the pole was left, getting ready to be installed, and where the railroad tracks were. I'd like to know the distance from where Mr. Rundell left the pole and the railroad tracks. Was it adjacent to it? Yes. Okay, now when you go to the area where the ditch, where the pole was dragged up to the ditch and then drag marks after the ditch, how far away is that location from the railroad tracks? I'd say approximately 100 yards. No further questions, Your Honor. Counsel? Nothing further, Your Honor. Well, 2 follow-up questions. Okay. Officer, near the railroad tracks, where Mr. Rundell last saw the metal pole, are there signs to the effect of no trespassing, property of Union Pacific, or anything like that that you recall? Yes, there are. What about the area of the wash near Oak Road? Are there signs, no trespassing, property of Union Pacific Railroad? Yes. Nothing further. What about of Edison? Any signs in the ditch area that indicate it's property that belongs to Edison? I don't know. Okay, nothing further, Your Honor. Ms. Young? Nothing further, Your Honor. Counsel? Nothing. Okay, you can step down. Call your next witness. People have no further witnesses. People rest. Affirmative evidence today, counsel? Rest. Okay, very well. No affirmative. Motion. People move to hold both defendants to answer for any and all crimes shown by the evidence. Counsel, I think there's no evidence at all that Mr. Miller or Mr. Wilson took anything from Union Pacific property near the railroad. There's drag marks, which the prosecutor could argue are circumstantial, that lead to the wash. Mr. Miller and Mr. Wilson admit that they took the pole from the wash. It's slim evidence as to count 2. But if the court does make a holding order, it should only be to count 2. My request is for the court to reduce that to a misdemeanor if it did make a holding order. I will join counsel's argument with regard to Mr. Wilson. I think the evidence does suggest that they both were under the impression that this was an abandoned item. It wasn't on the railroad property. It wasn't on Edison property. And it wasn't marked in any way that would put someone on notice that it belonged to Edison or to the railroad, except the small stamp. If the court finds that there is sufficient evidence regarding count 2, I would ask that the court consider a motion pursuant to 17B. I will join counsel with regard to count 1. I believe there's an insufficiency of the evidence with regard to count 1. Submit. All right, counsel, I appreciate your arguments. This is a preliminary hearing, unfortunately. I think there is sufficient evidence. The court can't ignore the statements that were made by your clients to the officer who interviewed them. And it seems like they didn't think this was abandoned at all. They thought it was somebody else's property. We're not hearing the whole story today. This isn't supposed to be a trial, but I believe there is sufficient evidence to hold both of them to answer. I'm not going to make this a misdemeanor. It is something that could be brought up again. I doubt there's any chance that this conduct, if Mr. Miller is responsible for it, is going to walk away with just a misdemeanor, having 2 prior felony prison convictions, 2 prior prison terms. Mr. Wilson, I have no idea what your background is today, but I'm not willing to split these cases up and have one of you answer for a misdemeanor and one for a felony. I'm going to hold the case to answer in Department 4 Thursday, about 2 weeks from today. That will be the date of September 22nd at 8:30 in the morning. Mr. Miller, Mr. Wilson, I'm ordering both of you to appear in Department 4 for arraignment on any information that is filed, and I'm going to hold you to answer. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Perfect timing. How was that?
Those guys are in trouble.
Oh, yes. It's kind of funny that the attorney tried to get him off with a misdemeanor.
Right?
The court's like, no. Sorry, guys.
I think I haven't seen any, but like briefs for felony, misdemeanor, all of those would be, I don't know, maybe I have seen them, but
I write misdemeanor as MIFD.
okay.
And then if you ever get like the word miffed, he was miffed, I just write MIF and then I come back
for D.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Because misdemeanor comes up all the time. So
Yeah.
I write that MIFD. That's my brief for misdemeanor. And then felony, it's 2 strokes. So I just write felony, but I'm sure there's a brief for it.
Yeah.
And then nothing further. Do you do NERT?
I actually think I put NF.
Okay. Yep. That I know I've seen that.
Yeah.
And then no further questions. Do you do NO? I do NO, F, or GS for no further questions.
I think I write that out.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You should write that one down because they're never going to say no further question. So you can just do NO, F, or GS. I mean, that usually there's a lot of colloquy when they say no further questions. So if you can use that brief.
NO, F, or GS.
Yes, for no further questions.
I'm not with it today. I could feel myself all over the place. So
okay.
Trying not to be disheartened about it,
Yeah, no.
It's like, okay, I know there are good days and bad days. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Not last half. I read that at 100. So
I just feel stuck. I've been here at 100 for a year. And I don't know.
But also, I know with everything that went on, like, you got to think too, like, have I put everything into it,
Yeah.
So just remember that and go ahead and type up a test and see how you do. And really then tell yourself, okay, I'm out of 100. I'm in 120 now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially because.
So, well, it's been so long since I've looked at any of, the different portions on Platinum Steno here, but are those the only places where the tests are?
Yes, in the modules.
Right, modules, that's it.
Yes.
Okay.
And I know Robert said we've got like over 50 hours for every single speed.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Maybe I'll do a 60 test.
Yeah, start with that. If you want to do that, start with that and just see, and then go to 80 and then go to 100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll work on that this afternoon.
Okay, good. All right. And then I'll grade it for you.
Okay.
All right. Well, you have a great rest of your day. So will you be able to attend tonight?
Hopefully.
Okay. Good.
I have the car today, so I have to pick my husband up, and I just hate having to make dinner, that much later, So I don't know. We'll see. I want to because I know I should go, in the mid speeds. I need to do that.
Yes. That'll help you to get out of home.
Yeah. Yesterday worked out really well because I made spaghetti sauce and let it simmer for a while. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. But so all I had to do was boil pasta when I got out of the class. But yeah, tonight it isn't going to be like that. So, excuse me. Oh, I need a nap. I don't need to do tests. I need a nap.
Yes. Well, if you can, try hard. If you can,
I will.
To the live class. Okay.
Yeah. I will.
Okay.
I'll see what I can do ahead of time, and then see if I can show up.
Yeah. Somebody just told me recently about it's not a crock pot, but it's a cooker.
Instapot.
I need that. Do you have one of those?
No, I think it just kind of took over pressure cookers.
Okay.
I'm not one necessarily for that. I hear good things about them, but I haven't got one yet.
Yeah. I know I'm going to try one because I heard you throw everything in and it cooks everything. And
Yeah, but if you have recipes that you make, and like yesterday I went to the store and they had I got a value package of top sirloins, and it's literally been years since I barbecued because I haven't had any propane. So, like with these top sirloins, I have this recipe from Bon Appetit magazine, where I hate to say fry it in a pan, but it's like you make it in the pan, then you use beef broth and Merlot wine, and I don't even have any shallots, darn it. I don't think. But it's really good, and I've made it so many times. But, that won't take long, but got to have some sort of potato. So,
yeah.
anyway.
Oh, sounds good. Makes me
Yeah.
hungry talking about it.
I know that. And see, Robert will see this and he'll laugh at us talking about this, and he won't get it because he doesn't like to eat.
Yeah,
Robert.
He's a healthy eater.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I just, what I do for my nephews and niece that just got married on Sunday, because, money is so tight, is I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
That I get a binder and I type up all these recipes, like from
That's awesome.
not just from our family, but like my husband's family, and old recipes, you know what I mean? And like our niece that just got married, there's this and my mother-in-law is not a chef. Okay, she'll like get recipes from magazines and make those, that sort of thing. And there's this mint pie that it's like with Cool Whip and chocolate wafers, that she makes every year. And our niece just loves it. She always has to have it. So I told my mother-in-law, this has to go in the cookbook. And I said, I don't have the recipe. I said, can you write it down and mail it to me? So she did, so I could include it, in the book. Well, not only, because I type them all out on the internet, and I'll put like little images and stuff on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I included my mother-in-law's written note, because I think that's so interesting, because you still have their handwriting, you know what I mean? And it's so important. I'm a very sentimental person.
Yeah, no,
But as a matter of fact, a few years ago at the Southern California Fair that they have in Paris, you know where I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They had I entered a few things in the fair, and they had this thing that was like a collection that you could enter, and people had buttons, and they had, this, and they had that. Well, I entered a cookbook collection, and the one binder that I have all my written stuff, I got some, like decorative scrapbooking paper and put it in page protectors, but then I put like, on one side, I put my mother-in-law's, like 3 of my mother-in-law's handwritten recipes, and then on the other side, some worn, pieces of paper of recipes that my mom wrote out on the other side. And I just said, you've got this history, you know what I mean, of generations of I don't know how to put it, tell you, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And displayed it like that. And I think I got second place. Wow. That wasn't the only thing, but
I was hoping you were going to tell me that somebody took it when I thought you were
because the collections were like under glass.
Okay.
And stuff. Okay. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and you got to buy the binder and you got to buy the page protect, but it's a lot of fun. And then I take like a picture of them and I have fun. I'm sure that there's an easier way of doing this. if Robert is listening to this, I'm sure he's cringing because he's just so tech. But I just go into Word and I put like their picture on it, and then I go into images and I get like little chef hats. You know what I mean? And I paste those on top of their heads, and I put bride and groom on the chef hats, and I put Suki Gage cookbook and
That's
bridal
so
edition.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, and I hope they like it.
Oh, I'm
you know,
sure. I did
you
that
know.
one time a long time ago for a friend of mine. I gave her copies of my recipes, and she said that was one of the best gifts she got.
Yeah,
So
well, I don't know why I didn't think about this. My best friend, she actually, it's like she collects cookbooks. It's so funny. So, and her birthday is coming up. So I don't know if you can see this. This is kind of what it looks like, what I do, but this is for my best friend. Now, it's not for a wedding, but can you read what I put?
You have so many cookbooks already that you may as well have a special one made. That is so neat.
And then see what I put over her, because she's like 54. I put censored, and then I put, but those are like the chef hats. So it's like, why didn't I think about that? I can just make something like that for her, and I plan on finding, because we've been best
She's gonna
friends
love
since
that.
We've been best friends since 1971.
Oh my
So
God.
we've got all these old pictures that I'm going to find, and I'm going to scan them, and I'm going to put them throughout the book. So yeah, I know that she'll really like it.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So, yeah.
I know I have recipes from my grandma that passed away, and Paul's grandma, both grandmas. And it's funny because when we first got married, I didn't think it was any big deal. But now that they're gone, it's like, oh my gosh, this is their handwriting, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It really,
I get it.
I think it takes for you to get a little bit older and then have somebody like that pass away, because I haven't had my mom since 1986. And that's, we didn't have videos back then and everything. And so I don't really have her voice. And it's like, oh my gosh, and a very distinctive handwriting, like very cursive and flat. And it's like people go, well, what does that say? So, yep.
Yeah,
so,
awesome.
You and I, we need come over for coffee. What are you doing right now?
Right now, I have to do a class. Did you know Theory got launched?
Yeah, that's right. Is it live?
It's not live. It's recorded. But
okay.
Now I'm I'm working on the first test.
Okay.
So we launched it. So we're so many lessons out, and then I gotta do. I promised Robert I would get that test done today.
Well, then I'm gonna shut up and let you go.
Well, that's okay. So, but yeah, let's do that. Let's get together soon. I would love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, right. Sounds good.
Okay. All right.
All right, Jill.
Have a good day.
You too.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.